Turns out, mages in Elden Ring, they're pretty good. Check this out. Hi guys, I'm Scribe from Scribe Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at doing a beginner's guide for mages in Elden Ring. Today we're going to be going over how to build a starting mage class in Elden Ring. Now, the starting class should always be an Astrologer for a spellcaster type, and that's simply because he has starting high intelligence as well as mind. Mind is going to translate into additional focus points, which is essentially your mana pool, and intelligence will translate directly into spell damage. When selecting your keepsake, guys, be sure to pick up the golden seed. You'll be able to turn this golden seed in for an additional flask, which will give us an additional use of our mana potions. Now, it does give us an additional health potion as well, but we're going to choose to split that highly in favor of using mana potions. Once you've reached your very first grace point, guys, go ahead and start resting there. Now, at any lost grace point, you find you are actually able to rest, restore your flasks, as well as your hit points and spell points. But what we're going to do right now is just go ahead and use that golden seed that we got as our starting trinket. Now, that's going to give us an extra use. Go ahead and click on the allocate flask charges at this point, and we're going to go ahead and try and allocate as much to the blue side, which is essentially our spell potions, as we possibly can. I like to go for just one health potion and have 4 on the spells points. That ensures that we can always recover our mana in the middle of battle. You're not really going to get hit much as a mage, so I'd advise you take this route. Once you find yourself outside, guys, go ahead and use any little rest shrines that you can. These lost grace points will be good sort of recall points for you to jump back and forth during the game. Now, we're looking to go ahead and jump over to that church that's just in the north there, and that's going to give us our first full proper rest shrine. Now, I do highly advise you try and avoid this guy running around on a horse. He's there designed to basically pimp slap you into oblivion until you're in a bit of a better place to start dealing with him. So let's just avoid him just for now. Just outside the church, guys, we'll actually go ahead and find another little golden seal fragment. Stay away from the nasty horsey man, he's going to kill you. And then just inside here, we'll go ahead and get another little rest shrine for us. Go ahead and use that. Lovely lost grace has been discovered. And we've now initiated our first fast travel location, which is fantastic. We'll be coming back here later to do some upgrading on this little stone smithy type place. The smithing table. We can speak English. Okay, so go ahead and open up your map. And just up to the north, we'll see this crossroads. This is the sort of area that we're looking to go to next. So start heading north, guys, and if you come across a few enemies along the way, don't be too afraid to go ahead and shoot a few spells into their backs. These guys should take about 2 spells of your glintstone pebble, and it'll give you just a little bit of runes for you to actually start leveling up your character once we get to that point. Ooh, smithing stone. Eventually, guys, you'll come across a crest, and you'll be able to see down into a small destroyed village. Now, just over to the left of this village, further up to the north, is the resting point or grace point that we're looking to go for. So go ahead and trudge yourself over there, pump those little legs of yours like your life depends on it, because let's face it, in a game series like this, your life really does depend on it. Resting at this shrine, guys, will introduce you to Melina. Now, Melina is going to be such a kind lass, and she's going to offer to be your maiden for this quest, and she's actually going to go ahead and do something incredibly useful to you, which is provide you with your horse Torrent. Now, once you've got your noble steed, I think it's time for us to be off. Alrighty guys, so the very first step here, we are going to be looking to try and get ourselves a very powerful weapon. So open up your map and look, we are going to be heading all the way over here to the east. Streets of Sage's Ruins is where we're heading, guys, and yes, it is a bit of a trek. But the good side is we do not have to fight any enemies. We simply have to run there on our horse as fast as possible, and it will give us a really powerful weapon that actually has an S scaling for intelligence. There are 1 or 2 lost grace points on the way there, guys. Make sure you tag them as you go through so you'll be able to recall to them in the future. Eventually, guys, you're actually going to reach Caelid as a new region. Make sure you go ahead and rest at this new lost grace discovery point, and then we're going to be actually heading over to the south just for a little bit. There's another rest point to be found here, and once we've tagged that, we're just going to head directly east. It won't take you too long at all, guys, until you come up to this swamp section, and this is actually where we're going to be finding our weapon. So if you look down over this cliff, you'll be able to see just a small church over on the left-hand side, and that's where we need to go. So hop on your horse and head just a little bit south. We don't want to jump off this cliff. It's not going to do us any favors, certainly not for our horse's legs, so let's make sure we take a nice easy path down. This church here, guys, is the exact one that we're looking at. So just go ahead and ride your horse around to it and go around to the back side of this little tower here. This man hanging out here is going to have the Meteorite staff, guys. Perfect. So here is the location on the map once again. We're not quite done yet though, guys, so go ahead and ride your horse north just a little bit further. This is actually going to give us a location for an additional spell that specifically synergizes with the staff that we're using. And it's a very useful spell for dealing a bit of burst damage up front. So just run north, go down this little staircase here, open the door, and inside here we'll find a chest which has our item. Now, to effectively use the Meteorite staff, guys, we do need to have a minimum intelligence of 18. So make sure you put your first 2 level up points into getting your intelligence up. After that, we can go ahead and memorize the rock sling spell, which, like I said before, it's got some good single target burst damage. And then go ahead and go into your equipment and throw on your Meteorite staff. Now you can see it does have an S rating here for attribute scaling and intelligence, which is obviously where all our damage comes from. This puts us in a really good start for the start of the game. We haven't barely even killed anything yet, but there's still more that we can do. A key part of any sorcerer's repertoire, guys, is obviously going to be his spells, and that's the next thing that we're going to be looking at here. So, from our current starting point of the gate frontier, we're going to go ahead and cross over the bridge to the far east, and we're going to be heading down over this way. Now this is going to give us an opportunity to learn a few new spells, but also give it an opportunity to get a few extra goodies. Once you've crossed over the bridge here, guys, and avoided the Knight's Cavalry, we're just going to look to get up on top of this mountaintop here. Watch out for the cavalcade of people coming across here. You don't really want to be fighting those guys head on, but this building right here with a big nasty plant in front of it is actually a good spot for us to go in. So just jump down into the Waypoint ruins, and we've got a boss fight on our hands. And once he has been evaporated into a nice shining spark, we'll actually be able to go through into the next area that will give us access to additional spells. Yay! But more importantly, we do also have a grace point here, so let's go ahead and grab that real quick. Run over here, open this lovely door. Ah, hello there. Now, there are a few spells that are supposedly pretty good from this world. Apparently the Glintstone Stars are pretty good, but also Scholar's Armament. Now, I'll leave it up to you to decide what spells to get here, guys. Next up, guys, we want to be looking to go ahead and grab this additional grace point. And then we're going to head up this little cliff here. There's yet another grace point just around the top of the cliff here, guys. And then you want to start heading south towards this big tower. Now then, this tower will have a few wolves in front of it, but wolves really aren't so big of a deal for you right now. Just make sure you don't lose any mana. Kill the wolves. And then go ahead and read this little emblem here. Now, this tower here has a challenge where you're supposed to kill 3 wise beasts. These wise beasts are these little turtles here. There's one directly behind you as soon as you start. There's one hiding inside the overbrush here. And then there's one last one. Just over to the side of the tower, guys, you will notice that somewhere in this lake, there should be some splashing. Just there. And that is actually an invisible tortoise. Now that's going to destroy the seal on this gate here. Go ahead and climb inside and open this chest. Now this chest, guys, gives us a memory stone. If we were to go into our inventory and take a look at the item, it actually increases the memory slots, and that means we can actually now have 3 spells instead of just the starting 2. When it comes to the spells you want to use, guys, I'd highly recommend getting Glintstone Pebble. This is going to be your basic single target damage, okay, your bread and butter. Then you're going to use Rock Sling here. This is sort of a really strong opening move to really get some big damage out of the gate on an unsuspecting enemy. Now, it does have a higher SP cost, and it can be charged, so make sure you charge that attack. For the last spell slot, guys, I do recommend you go ahead and use Glintstone Arc. This is very useful if you have an area of effect damage you want to do. If you're being rushed by several enemies at once, this makes short work of large groups. But generally speaking, you'll be using Glintstone Pebble for the most part. Now, there is one final item, guys, that will help you on your way to being an incredibly powerful early game mage, and that's going to be the Imp Head Cat. Now, this item does actually give you an additional 2 intelligence to your base stats. It is a little bit heavy, but that extra 2 boost can really help you increase your damage. Now, there are only 2 locations that I know of that this drops, guys. One is in a cave right near the very first Church of Ella, and it's the Stormfort Catacombs, and you want to be killing the imps. Those imps will also spawn, guys, in the Impaler's Catacombs. Now, this is where I happened to get mine off the second enemy that I killed. I will say, though, guys, that this item does have a low drop rate, and for an extra 2 intelligence, it might not be worth the time for you to actually go and invest in it. Now, the only problem with one of our weapons, guys, which is the Meteorite Staff, is that you cannot upgrade it at all. As an alternative to this, guys, you can go for the Demi-Human Queen Staff. Now, that item can be found just over here. Just down here, the Demi-Human Forest Ruins, guys. So, as we've already gone to Oradin's Rise, you can actually just head to the northwest, guys, and you can initiate the boss fight. It is fairly easy, and it will give you that Demi-Human Staff, which will be more useful in the long run once you upgrade it sufficiently. That's going to put you in a really good spot, guys, for you to develop into a really powerful mage. Now, if this video is useful to you guys, please do let me know in the comments section down below, and let me know what content you'd like to see in the future. But until the next video, guys, I've been Scribe, and peace out. Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.